Still so far from home. I've searched for you all my life. Cast out like a shadow, racing towards the light.
All right. So today I finally start working on my level design. I'm going to start off with a Unity asset called it had something to do with, well, the basic theme was a Japanese street, or more like a Japanese alley. Let me look it up. Japanese city? Is this the name? Yeah, looks like it. So this is a general theme that I'm aiming towards. The problem with a lot of these assets is that they do not consider at all optimization. So it's always up to the programmer or whoever's in charge of game development to change some of the things to fit your game. In this case, I'm going through a lot. I'm changing some of the textures, some decals. And it also means I cannot use this right out of the box. I could if I wanted to. I still have to change things like colliders, get rid of the things that are not even shown, but take up resources, things like that. But in terms of art, I also want to sort of define what it is about this scene that makes it look sort of Japanese. Maybe it's the writings and the billboards and these posters that have Japanese in them, but also the way the street looks, the textures and the buildings. It's really hard to say. I don't know, at least for me, it's kind of hard to say why a city or to attribute a certain characteristics to a city. Something like New York would look completely different. Something like Seoul would look completely different. Something like Taipei would look completely different. My question is, how do you express that in a video game? So I'm stuck here loading again. I'm just creating a brand new HDRP scene. I don't know why it's taking so long today. I don't know if Unity is bloated or I'm not running anything with my PC. Well, I do have a Unity project running, one Unity project. But opening another one shouldn't take this long. Sometimes it does. I don't know why. All I know is there's too many things going on within a game engine. But still, why is it taking so long?
What do spirits say? What do spirits say in a darker day? What do spirits say?
So right now I'm going to create a new project and import and have a completely clean import of the Japanese street. The original project, where I opened that Unity asset in, it's gotten too messy and I changed too many things. And I want to go back to a clean, complete version of the scene and sort of think of ways I could use it in my own game. And I'm still stuck here in the loading screen.
What do spirits say? What do spirits say?
형이 안녕.
What do spirits say?
Can you hear me? We could be legend. I have nothing to lose. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Wake up. I know what's real. Escape reality. Hardwired. Entropy. Switch.
Yo, Crispy.
We used to look up at the sky
How you doing?
and wonder at our place in the stars.
My cat's bothering me.
World you've made yourself. Now you have to live in it. The end is in our sights. The future is already here. No matter how hard we tried, we're doomed. Say your goodbyes. Brace yourself. I can see the end inside. Three, two, one. Hardwired.
Yeah, man, I've just been a little too busy working on my FPS project. Changing the render pipeline. I'm not sure if you're gonna know what I'm talking about, but changing render pipelines. I've been testing out different cities as levels. Last time I tried something called New York as a Unity asset. Today I'm trying out Japan. I think I'm gonna go with Japan. I like the, especially with HDRP, if I create a very dark scene where the only pretty much the only light source is the moonlight and the street lamps and the some of the neon signs. I think that look, it's really interesting, especially if the render's done correctly. So the goal today is to look at the Japanese street asset and figure out what I want to do with it.
Disconnect.
So to give you a little preview, here's my scene. Oh shit, I'm clicked on the wrong thing. But I think you can already see it. I've got some volumetric fog going. I got one lamp there. Some sushi store with neon lights. I've also got some post-processing, which is bloom and a whole bunch of other stuff. And all those little things adding up together will eventually create one interesting look that represents a Japanese street. Unity is really slow today. I forgot to have Steam on. You gotta give it a few seconds. A few more seconds. Looks like Steam isn't responding today, which is strange. Or just lag. Alright. So we got a bit of a camera shake. It's really hard to make something look shiny and reflective in a video game, especially real time at 200 frames per second. The light strength of the sushi neon lights might not be strong enough here. But I also want to make it subtle, not too much. So this is one nice little sample. Here's another sample of the volumetric lighting. Volumetric lighting before HDRP was pretty hard to do in Unity. Now it's there by default, which is nice. We got a tree that you should normally see in Japan. I have no idea. Got some Japanese signs. So lighting plays a big part in giving you the general mood and look of the game. And meanwhile, while I was talking about it, I think the scene is loaded. Or not this scene. So finally, I have a clean import of the Japanese street. Hell. Hanamura from Overwatch. Yeah. God, it's been so long, I forgot about. So it's, I guess it's the colors and the way these buildings look that makes them look Japanese. I guess it's the style of the buildings and the trees and the colors, mostly. Yeah. I don't think I have these ancient style buildings as asset. More modern ones. These modern houses. And so it looks like... I don't even think I need a clean import of this. So the street air is a generated mesh. It's not an FBX file. Oh yeah, tight alleyways. Yeah, that's got a lot to do with things. Streets like Japan, Taiwan, Korea. We all have tight alleys, extremely tight ones. Another important thing to consider is this little bump on the sidewalk. I mean, these are obviously one of the major characteristics of a city. But when you have something like this in a video game, it's got nothing to do with the gameplay. It actually hinders your gameplay because you're going up and down. I could make it smoother, but then I wonder if you strafe right here, I would guess that would make you harder to hit. Let me try to find. And also, usually you don't want a mesh collider. Usually you want a box. What is this thing even called? I can't even find it. Where's the original mesh? Road sidewalk. Okay, so this is the original asset. Little things like this have always bothered me. Usually in older style games, you teleport from here slightly to there, which makes it really weird. If you go with an animation, that pretty much that's an overkill. If you go with a smoother slope, I don't know, I'll figure something out. Hello, Petrus Dev? Yeah, slopes, just a gradual slope would probably work. Let me go back to the Counter-Strike Italy, for example. I forgot, it's been so long I completely forgot. So Counter-Strike just has textures. And I don't ever remember going up and down because of the bumps. Maybe a little bit. It looks like it's a lot less. Like the height of the blocks, or the thickness, whatever you call it, it is almost non-existent here. But this is also a very old game. Of course, you have it here. But then looks like in an actual European city, it looks a lot less. Is this an actual city in Italy? So I'm looking at an actual photo of a city in Italy, I think. The streets look a lot more flat compared to something like a Japanese alley. This looks absolutely flat too. Okay. Yeah. The Italy. Good times. Shit, man. Yeah, you recognize it from a mile away. I think I can play that game, go right into that map, Italy, and play it like I played it yesterday. So here's a Japanese alley. I mean, this looks extremely flat. I mean, except, you know, there's a little... what do you call this? I mean, there's so little difference between this ground and this ground. Yeah, for something this small, if you make it a gradual slope, nobody would barely even notice it. Until you get to this part where you're just completely going to a full stop, because you just can't go forward here. But somewhere like here, all this would be... The difference between all these three platforms is so little, you can get away with a gradual slope. This looks a little... Well, this is a different style of a street. It's a more modern sidewalk with bigger concrete. Maybe I should make this, just scale it down a little bit and make it less intruding, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the general direction I would go. In case with a sidewalk, make it slightly flatter and use a slope. Even though it's not completely flat, players would probably barely even notice the slant, the angle of the difference between the road and the sidewalk. Okay, I think that's the direction I will go. Yeah, I think most of the time an unassuming slope would probably work. Unless the height is so big that you actually have to jump. That makes sense, but most of the time for a small step, it's like a few inches above the ground. That should be more like a slight slope in a video game. But I've also seen games where you just teleport slightly whenever you go on the stairs. But again, those are really old games. In case with foot placement, That's the animation, which could be separate from the physics collisions of the character and the ground. Yeah. For now, I'm not thinking about foot placement with this project. Maybe I will later on. I don't know if you've seen this. Hold on, let me bring up some of my old projects. Do I even still have it public? I think I do. So this is like a little sample project, an experiment for me to test out actual physical collisions of everything on a human body or a character body, such as arms, legs. Because when you run an animation, an animation doesn't consider any of the physics because it runs on keyframes. But this project, I want the animation as well as the physics collisions. So if I do a jump, where did it go? So if I do a jump, I sort of do an animation plus the physics. It's hard to see here, but what am I doing here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is a very short example. Like a little ragdoll thing. So these things, they can definitely be done. What is a different topic from what I was initially planning today? So I don't know. I'll make a decision on that later. For today, where's the sidewalk? Today I want to look at the sidewalk and make something interesting. Crispy says, interesting, does a character snap back onto the keyframes after a physics collision? Yes. So there's always a conflict between the physics collision and where the animation is supposed to be. So instead of straight out running the animation, playing the animation, I get the animation info and then input that into the character joints, which behaves physically. So you basically have a goal of each of the joints to move towards a specific keyframe or a specific rotation or position that's defined in the animation. But obviously, if there's something in front of your arm, your arm's gonna hit the object and not play the exact animation, but react physically but the goal is to still try to get to that animation point or keyframe. And you can also set the weight between what you want to prioritize. So it's always a conflict between the two. And from there, it depends on how you define your specific implementation. Joey546, welcome. Today I'm mostly looking into level design. Oh, and if anybody was here last night, I was talking about automatically sorting a downloaded Unity asset into folders into a format that I want. That's done. So I can now extract a specific asset out of an entire project that I downloaded and extract just the things that I want, just the textures and the materials and the mesh that I want, and that will be completely separate from the original project. So that's good. I don't know why I never thought of that before, but it was just a few lines of code. Yes, Joey546 says, oh, level design is really tough. Yes. Well, pretty much everything is tough in game development, as with anything. If you're trying to create a product that sells in the market, that's just going to be tough in every shape or form. Welcome, Mystery Ultra Games. Welcome. But level design, especially, you have to consider the art, but you also have to consider optimization. You also have to consider gameplay, which oftentimes might come in conflict with your art. So let me bring up my recent devlog video. Looks like my porn searches are also coming up. Don't look at those. So this is my recent devlog video. I really like this asset. This one was called New York. The problem with this asset was that it was horribly unoptimized. Like there was so much stuff, so many meshes and textures that are not even shown. But all those things add to wasting your resources. The colliders were all mesh colliders, horribly optimized. The textures were giant. The lighting settings all had to be changed. What else? You also had to go through something like Meshbaker to reduce draw calls. So here I just have a flat collider which makes the character float, but obviously that will not be in the actual project. But there's a huge difference in how an artist might look at a level versus how a programmer might look at a level versus how a marketer would look at a level versus how a CEO might look at a level. So there's a lot of variables there when it comes to portraying a certain map in your video game that's supposed to express a certain mood and feeling when you're playing it. It also has things to do with your overall game design. And there's also manageability, which the players will never see, but will translate to your game being awesome and smooth, and just the overall great experience. So all those things have to be considered, which is why you can't just download a Unity asset and immediately turn it into your own video game. That's just not going to happen. It's a lot of work, basically. So right now I have nothing but 4 sample assets that I pulled in just to see what they look like. So I have a bunch of other assets here as well that I'm going to use. But I have not exactly planned out how I'm going to use them or how I'm going to place them. Last night I was also thinking about procedurally generating some sort of a map. I'm not leaning towards that. I'm more leaning towards manually creating a level. So let me go to the sidewalk again and see how it looks in my project. So that's the sidewalk. It doesn't look too bad. I think it looks all right. The reflection, I might have to lower that. What if I scale this to something like 80%? Would that make the difference less? What if I go 50%? Might be a little too small. Or what if I just make this? Okay, I can just make the height smaller, which would make the transition way smoother. Yeah, something like this would definitely work. Like, you're not going to notice a tiny slope made up of a few pixels, or not made up of a few pixels, but the size of the length of a few pixels here. Okay, this might be a few hundred pixels, but something like this is going to be barely noticeable. So, but if you zoom out, you can definitely see that there's a sidewalk there. Maybe 0.3 is a little too small. Something like 0.4. Maybe even 5. Yeah, so I think definitely this could work. My cat is attacking me. Another question is, what about the road? The actual road. Where's that asset? Road A. Oh, looks like what the hell? Why is the texture different? What the fuck? And why is this? Why are all the options colored out? Oh, okay. It's not. Please don't freeze on me. Not the prefab. Oh. Interesting. So I'm gonna pull down the height by half, 50%, which would make the slope much less noticeable. Almost flat. I think I'll go with that. Why does the texture look different? Shouldn't this be the exact same? Hmm. Is it the lighting? Hmm. I was thinking there shouldn't be a difference in the textures. Oh wait, there is a difference. Oh, okay, never mind. It's a giant difference. You also got a bit of randomness going on here, which is great. This guy didn't even include the code. Hmm. For my project, I would want the texture to be the same between here and here. Let me look into that. Might not even be possible. Wait, why is it still crossed out? Oh. Okay. So this is included in the mesh, or the model. Huh. Interesting. Sidewalk B. Oh, so this is dirt. This is not concrete. Where is the concrete? Hmm. Can I put this here? What happens then? What? Where did it go? I guess you can't. Oh, extract materials. Guess I'll do that. Now we have a separate material. There we go. Now I get to change the options. I don't want it too smooth. Already we see the reflection changing. Guess something like that makes sense. Or no metallic. No, this is a cartoon. I guess there is a lot of reflection from the street. Oh, Mystery Ultra Games. Did I say hello to you?
What the hell? Hmm. Strange. Still look bluish.
Okay, so here's another very basic sample. I don't like the difference between the road and the sidewalk here. I think it's got a lot to do with lighting. But I like this general look. I would also have something on the other side here. Right, you have the straight road in the center, buildings and lighting on the side. Let me try switching some of the smoothing here. Oh, okay, I think... Wait, what material am I using here? Is this even... Surface inputs. Okay. Surface type. Wait a minute. So I'm going to compare the two materials. Sidewalk versus asphalt.
Rise up from the ashes, wings on my back, stay lit like a matchstick. We ain't coming back, I swear. Just let go and see what happens. Gotta let go to see the magic happen. They got is a quick change, so we like
They're both HDRP lit, but then... Oh,
keep elevating me.
Decals. Okay, I guess it's just a smoothness that makes it look very different. I think too much metallic. Okay, now the difference is less once I start changing the numbers. Okay, this is good. I guess something like this makes more sense. Scale is also different, looks like. But nobody's gonna zoom in that much in the middle of a game. I think this is good enough for now. I'll get into the details later. I should make the scale smaller though. With the ground creator, plain, concrete. So let me try something like 0.2 instead. Then create the ground again. It's much smaller, maybe too small. And 20. Okay, that looks more like it. Yeah, I think that makes a little more sense. The tree. Let me compare it side by side. Oh no, I forgot the building. God damn it. Luckily, the height hasn't changed. I'll put it somewhere here. Yeah, I think this makes way more sense now. Okay. That's good. Let me try baking again. Oops. What is this thing? I'm gonna wait a few seconds to bake. Not getting into the details of lighting yet, so it's not gonna make too much of a difference, but yeah. And now it looks pretty normal. It's like a normal street, I guess, alley. If I place the camera here. Yeah, I like this. By placing. I also need a sidewalk creator, which I'll probably get to later. But this looks pretty good, actually. I like it. The sky might be too bright. Either the sky is too bright or the lamp is too strong. But I like this. I generally like this render. Another important thing is what is it about these Japanese street or this alley in particular that kind of makes you feel trapped, almost makes you feel claustrophobic. Phase? I have no idea what you're saying. But I hope you enjoy. Back to what I was saying. Do these alleyways feel tight because all of these buildings that are on the side are right next to each other? Okay, there is a bit of space here. Usually this part of the alley is filled with trash and cats and all those nasty stuff. Cats are not nasty, by the way. Trash is. I'm gonna need something here. Or my scene is really dark, so probably doesn't even matter. But I guess I do want the buildings really close together. Is that how it is in an actual... Yeah. I wonder why these buildings are so close together. Almost as if they're a wall. And there's two buildings here that practically form a wall. Here's a different question. My question is, this has got nothing to do with GameDev, but But if you do build these walls to get, I mean, these buildings that this close, like practically touching each other. Or is this one building? So there's a person living here, and there's a construction going on your wall, literally. It's touching your wall. How does that happen? But anyways, so let's say... Okay, I'm gonna try this part. This was the part that was used in the screenshot. I guess the artist put a lot of time into it. We've got building 4. There's building 4. So let's try putting the buildings together in my project. We got building 4. I even drag it in there. We've got building 4. What's the scale for building 5? 1.2. Okay. Make him even bigger. The sushi store is from a different level, different asset, so might not actually fit, even though I really like the lighting of it. And again, all these colliders. What's up with all these colliders? What the hell? Alright, good night, Crispy. Should play some games later. Maybe not today, but soon. Good night. Okay, at least they're made out of box colliders, which is good. Mesh collider, no. And okay. You don't really need a collider for this thing. Like, it's way behind. Unless you're actually there. But this is so far off. What the? So far off the play area, and you're most likely never ever gonna shoot this thing. So let's look at all the mesh colliders. Okay, these things, yeah, they can be done with a box collider. This absolutely does not need to be a mesh collider. All these things, I'm gonna get rid of all the mesh colliders. So we've got building 4. But these little boxes, I think I can live with them. They're okay, I guess. Just have to add a few more cylinders and boxes for, and replace the mesh colliders. Again, I need a sidewalk creator later. Let me just complete this part. So slowly, it's looking more and more like an actual level now. Just ever so slowly. There we go. Maybe the pole is a little too far behind. The tree, I guess, shouldn't be here. I'll put the tree somewhere here. Or I mean, the tree shouldn't grow out of concrete, but Let me just put it there. So if I look at it from here, I also need a lamp creator or something that just generates these assets in a straight line in a certain sequence. That would be nice. So already, we just have one more lamp and one more building. Already looks like a part of an alley, which I like. And of course, if the buildings are together, you're going to have an actual wall forming here on the side and also on this side, which I think might be really interesting. Where's building 4? Make this static. Lamp. So they're all static, 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 static. Everything from here, everything starting from the light probe or reflection probe, not static. What is this? Oh. Not that close, but if I look at it from here, oh, there's also the lighting that I have to take care of here. What about all these decals? Guess I don't care for now.
Asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close.
Fake interior.
Save myself but turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wakes where I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things
Ah. So for today, I think I'm gonna end the stream, but before I end it, let me just talk about what I did today. So I finally got a sample going of an alley. We've got the little road in the middle and the sidewalk. We also got some buildings here. I really like this look. I love how the artist put in the fake interior. Instead of having actual FPX and models to represent it, you just have a little texture that's slightly shiny and reflective. So it looks like an actual... Well, it doesn't look that real, but it does look somewhat like an inside of a house, of a building. I really like that. This is from a different artist. I also like this. And if I look at this from the side, so only this part is... Okay, I think my stream quality is... I think I'm getting disconnected. But anyways, I should have more on this side that makes you sort of feel trapped inside in a little tiny little alley. Hold on, let me check what's going on here. Am I still live? Anyways, I almost fell off. So yeah. I really like the volumetric lighting of HDRP and all these little subtle details in lighting and shadows. In Unity, you can only achieve that with HDRP. You sort of can with URP and the built-in render pipeline. But there's so subtle little differences that makes the scene look good. At least to me, any sort of lighting that might suggest realism. Not that I'm going for realism. I don't want realism in terms of models and textures. But I do want realism in terms of lighting. But I guess lighting has a lot to do with how real your video game looks. But right now I don't have the muzzle flashes for the HDRP. Don't have the smoke yet, so it's just pink. Oh shit. Oh. I haven't done much other than coming up with a little sidewalk in a building. I really like the direction where this is going. Kobe, welcome in. Kobe says, my wife only likes cute games with characters you would never want to kill. Yeah. I don't want to generalize, but women generally like cute things. As do I. I like cats. Maybe I should have cats walking around. Kind of like Italy's chicken. If you remember Counter-Strike Italy, there's chickens and you shoot them and they explode. I guess I can do them with cats in a Japanese alley. So instead of DE Italy, I would have DE Japan. Or Tokyo. Tokyo doesn't look like this, but give me any name of a small Japanese city and I'll have cats that explode when you shoot them, I guess. Oh, and I can also make this 4K. I wonder how that would work. So generally, having higher resolution definitely helps, but I'm losing a lot of frames here. So 4K definitely looks much better. You guys probably can't see it through the live stream because this is being compressed. But anyways, I think I'm gonna aim towards QHD. I think most modern video gaming rigs can handle QHD at this level. This amount of assets and stuff. But it also depends on the optimization of the game itself, so I guess it's pretty much a random choice. But anyways, I think I'm gonna end it here. I really like the sample look. I'm gonna continue on this and hopefully this will look significantly better than the New York scene that I had in my latest vlog video. Kobe says, sounds good. Maybe zombie cats. Most wives are okay with killing zombies. Okay. But I don't care. I don't care. You're killing a cat in a video game. What's the harm in that? And yeah, I think I'm gonna go with like in Korean alleys too. There's always cats in these little tight spots between buildings. No human would ever go in there because it's a mess, and you feel claustrophobic. So it's just an idea that I came up with. I'm glad Kobe likes it, and that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.